Hey guys, it's Raganark here, and I've also got Lucron here in my video. He's not here with us in voice, but his character's here. I'm currently dueling him at the moment. So what we were doing, we were just dueling each other, noobing around, and then we thought, what if we made our pets fight by themselves? Which pet would win? As I had more versatility and he had more mastery, which both buffs the pets in different ways, so we wanted to see who'd win, and we found something quite interesting. Apparently the Felguard's not that strong, which makes about as much sense as this. So as our warlock pets were fighting each other, we discovered that the Felguard really isn't that strong. Like, as you can see here, we were struggling to break each other's soul leech shield. So it was just absorb after absorb after absorb after absorb. We even summoned the demonic tyrants there and made zero nick of difference, probably because they were both buffing each other. So then Lucron had quite an interesting idea. He's like, I want to test a thing. So here he goes, he summons a different pet. He summons a succubus. So the Felguard and the succubus start attacking and schwacking each other, doing random stuff, and we just sat back and watched idly. And after a period of time, to our surprise, we discovered that the succubus was actually damaging the Felguard, but the Felguard wasn't damaging the succubus, which was indeed very strange. So we let it test a bit more just to see, how long it took and how low the Felguard got, and you can see, like, he's missing quite a chunk of health compared to the succubus. It hasn't lost any. So then we tried other pets. Here we've got the Fel Hunter, and the Fel Hunter was much more successful than the Felguard. As you can see here, he's just attacking, and he's already starting to break through that absorb shield and bring some numbers up. Again, it surprised us greatly, and we thought it was about equal, if not slightly lesser than the succubus. We thought the succubus would have been the best, but no, it turns out after testing it for a few more minutes, we found that the Fel Hunter actually does slightly more than the succubus in the beta, and I tested this on live, which I'll show you shortly. But as you can see, the different health pools, the Fel Hunter was weakened at first, but then he starts to catch up to the succubus and brings hers down with his, and eventually killing the succubus before the Fel Hunter died. So then we wanted to try some other pets, like the imps, the void walkers, and just to see, try and work out what is the best pet to use. So I told him to heal up his succubus, and I tried a few other pets here, which I'm showing you now. So here with the imp, we've got some fireballs going, and then we worked out that the imp is actually really strong. His casts are quite quick, the fireballs hit quite hard, they seem to crit fairly often, as you can see there. And it's just burning the shield right away, and the succubus hasn't even broken the imp shield yet. And obviously you know that the more damage the pet does, the more shield it gets in return, of course. So after testing the imp, he's like, okay, let's test out the void walker. What if the void walker one-shots? And I knew that wasn't going to happen, but I thought I'd test it anyway, just to see how good of a pet it was. And the void walker, it didn't surprise me that he was the weakest pet, but what did surprise me is that the succubus couldn't break through his shield, so he was actually tankier than the Felguard. So his damage is less, but he's tankier, making him probably the best pet to use for questing if you want him to tank for you. So that was quite astonishing to my surprise as well. So all the pets are still very useful in their own way. I'm not sure if Blizzard intended the Felguard to be as weak as it is. I think they made a mistake there. I think it should still be one of the strongest pets, as it's kind of an icon for demonology. But yeah, I guess in a way it's a good thing as well, because it makes the pets more useful. If you don't want to use a Felguard for whatever reason, you might like to have a bit more variety with your demons and have a unique use for all of them. I guess that's coming back with BFA. So what you're seeing here now is me testing the the pets on live. So I've got them on a single target training dummy, and I've just let them sort of auto attack for like a good minute, and I was using the timer sort of to give myself like a time frame of their DPS. So I did roughly about 60 seconds, give or take a second, on each of the pets, and then I recorded their total damage and then their DPS, and I put them in a nice big chart for you. So if you can't see the DPS down the bottom left there, I'll have a chart up shortly for you so you can get an idea of what the best ranking is for both beta and live, which are different by the way. I know previously in beta, I'm not sure if it's a bug or if it's intentional, but it was a thing, but then later on it got fixed. But then when I tested it again today, obviously you're seeing it's not exactly, the Felguard's not just the go-to pet anymore. They've made the other pets have their own unique properties in a way, which is great. But yeah, I'll tell you the upsides and the downsides real quick. So the upsides are, the other pets are still useful. There's still good reasons to use those pets, whether it's damage or having one of their utilities. They're all usable and you won't get much of a DPS loss. What is important about the Felguard to remember though is that the Felguard will still be the top damager on AoE, as it has a Blade Storm, like a cleave ability, and it's still a tank. It still has tanking ability, still can taunt. It still has its own stun, so it's got good utility for things like PvP or if you need that extra CC. And it's also good for your talents. There are a couple of talents that buff the Felguard, giving him a second Blade Storm at 400% damage, and the other one's basically a charge which gives you a free soul shard and does a decent chunk of damage. So if you're not going to use the Felguard, be sure to make sure you're not using those talents that buff the Felguard, because you won't be able to use them without the Felguard. So just be aware of that trap if you decide not to use the Felguard in a certain situation. Other than that, go nuts. There's plenty of other talent choices and builds to go with if you decide not to use the Felguard for a certain scenario, whether it's questing, PvP, dungeons, or even raids. Up to you, but you might have to do a little bit of convincing to convince everyone why you're not using the Felguard. And if they ever question you, you can answer by what I've told you today, or even link them to this video, and I can basically prove with the charts I'm about to show you why the Felguard is not exactly the best pet in every situation anymore. Now here's that chart I keep talking about. Basically the Felguard on beta PvP DPS ranking single target was the worst, straight up. Succubus came third, Voidwalker fourth, Felhunter second, Imp first. And on the right hand side of the top you can see live pre-patch single target DPS approximately for 60 seconds. So this is where I recorded each pet's damage for around 60 seconds, give or take a couple of seconds, and I've recorded their total damage, and to the right of that is their DPS. So down the bottom I've ranked them from best pet to worst pet. So on the bottom left there you've got best single target pet in beta, plus I put their bonus ability in. So Imp is the best throughput damage single target. You get a 5% stand buff, that's back in the game now, and you've also got your Dispel with the Imp as well. The Felhunter has an interrupt or a silence. You can use the Felhunter and still use a silence without having any major DPS loss now, provided it's single target. Succubus has a charm effect, great for PvP, great if you want to use that PvP talent that makes your Shadow Bolt go faster as well. I can't remember the exact name of it. The Voidwalker is probably the best pet to use while you're out questing or leveling. It's got cleave aggro, great for tanking groups of mods as well. It's probably the pet I'm going to use while I'm out questing and leveling up once BFA comes out. And the Felguard is the worst pet for single target. However, if you choose a talent, or it's an AoE, or especially both, it becomes the top. So that's what makes the Felguard the strongest, is the talents and the AoE it does. Plus the stun. If you need to stun something, Felguard's the only pet you have that can basically stun, and it's only on a 30-second cooldown, and it's pretty good stun to be honest. So still good reason to use the Felguard. Don't make this video think that the Felguard's useless now. It's not. So I tested this in live down the bottom right, ranked DPS order, Felhunter being the top, Succubus second, Imp third, Felguard fourth, with the Blade Storm going off cooldown every time, and Fellstorm, not Blade Storm, And Void Walker, obviously the lowest because, you know, he's not really made for damage, he's more of a tanky pet. But still useful for questing environments, like I said before. Anyways, guys, remember this. All these numbers here could be completely different so by the time BFA actually launches. They've still got a bit of tuning to do left. Teemo Lock's actually one of the weakest spellcasters right now. A lot of people still think it's overpowered, but trust me, it's not. It's one the weakest of all the caster specs. I think the only thing below Teemo Lock right now is Arms Warrior, but I'm not going to go into that just yet. But let's just hope there's a little bit more tuning to go before the server is live. Anyways, guys, if you like this video and you want to see more videos like this, give us a like, give us a sub, hit that bloody bell, and also give Lucron a bit of love for helping me make this video. His channel is just there in the bottom right. Hit sub on that, check his videos out. He does a lot of PvP battleground videos and he's hilarious, really funny. Much more funny than I am, much better at editing than I am. Anyways, thanks very much, guys. I'll see you in the next